Welcome to Beta Mail, where today I'm going to be building a ramp. Now this can be a ramp outside on your lawn for anything you might want to get up into, say the greenhouse or up to say a Wendy house. In this instance I'm going to be building a ramp which goes from the path here up into the shed that I've put up. If you want to have a look at the shed series, please have a look through the playlist and you'll see how I put up this shed. But in this instance, the ramp I'm going to build is a cost-effective way. Literally, each of these bags of stone cost £2.50 each. So this is just a quick and effective way. It isn't particularly going to be very load-bearing. It's literally going to be some patio slabs, breeze blocks and some stone. But it is a nice, quick, cheap way to get a ramp that goes up from a lower part of your garden up into whatever you want to get into. Tools for the first phase then. I've got a pair of gloves because I'm going to be manhandling soil around. I've got a shovel or a spade will do, particularly if you can get one with the little lips at the top end of the spade section. That's going to help when you're putting your feet in. And then I've got a couple of knee pads here because you want to be doing this sort of ramp building work in soil, ideally when it's rained or if it's just lightly raining, so the ground's nice and soft. So I'm going to be on my knees a fair bit, so I've got some knee pads just to prevent my knees getting completely soaked. So all I've done initially is just scored out how I want the path to be, sort of template if you like. So I've got just scored down this end, I've got up to the path and I've scored along here. I'm just going to quickly show you the scoring process. So literally all I'm doing is by eye, just looking at where I want to score the edge of the path itself. I put the spade in, put 1 foot on, step on and just use my body weight to push the spade down into the ground, and then I can lift slightly and that'll loosen the turf. Okay, once I've loosened the turf, I'll attempt to just quickly show you on this piece. So I've scored again, lift, and then I can lift up the turf itself, push in with my hand again, and then completely remove that piece. What I'm going to do though, as I deturf this whole area up here, is then begin to use that turf to angle up the slope towards where I'm going to put where I want to be able to step up into the structure itself. So I'll do that now. So I figured I might get the question, why am I bothering to deturf all that physical effort to turn the grass over to create this slope? Now there's a few different reasons for this. Firstly, it's going to save a bit of money. If I can use the turf that's in place already to lift and pile up to create a bit of a slope, it means I'm going to have to buy less of those stone bags to achieve that same slope. Secondly, this ground is going to be a little more compact than the stone itself. So over time, if I just use stone on top of the grass, inevitably it's going to start to drift down the slope with wear as I'm coming in and out of the shed. So that's the second reason. The other reason, of course, is with the grass the way it is, if I can get under those roots, lift it, turn it over so it's now grass shade facing down, then there's less grass and weeds that I'm going to have to deal with poking up through the stones over time. So it'll just save a bit of a job in the future. So that's why I've decided to go and deturf, create a bit of a earth ramp, and I've also created these little borders, like little trenches just along either edge here, and that's where I'm going to put my wood in along here, which is going to prevent the stones coming out either side. So that's the next bit I'm going to crack on with now. So with the deturfing done and with a rough earth slope that I've got there, the next phase is going to be to get these two reclaimed, they're old shelves actually from an old shed. So basically I'm just going to cut these down to size roughly, and then I can begin to get an angle on those shelves themselves. So tools for this, hearing protection, I've got gloves, safety goggles, pencil to mark off where I need to cut. I've got a circular saw I'm going to use, a cordless one. I have got a jigsaw as backup in case I need to do any little bit of finessing. And then I've got my long spirit level here that I can use to mark out the long lines to give me the gradual slope. So the first stage, I've put them roughly in place. So now I'm just going to mark off where I need to cut in order to get it flush up to the park. I'm going to over egg it somewhat. Better to cut too long than too short on my first cut, so I'm just going to cut there initially on this one. Once I've done that, and the same on the other side, then I'll come back. So I basically cut the ends to get it to fit lengthways, and then I cut at an angle just along the length. I need it thicker at this end because obviously it needs to go higher up to meet the shed, and then narrower at this end. So I just cut a very rough angle, just by eye. I didn't measure or anything because I don't need to get it absolutely bomb proof as a shallow gradient all the way up to the other end, but just enough so it lowers at this end. I still want a little bit of height at this end just to prevent the lawnmower just running straight over the stones. It will hit that natural barrier. And now I've just padded the inside here. What I'm probably going to do is infill just up the outside line of the trench on each plank, just to give it support on that side as well. But I think once the stones and the slabs are in place, this will hopefully just keep this in place quite nicely. So I've now got the planks secure. All I've done is basically press down thin bits of turf right the way down into the outside of the trench, and then packed up the inside as well on both sides. So what I'm going to do now is put a thin layer of stones over the whole lot. Then I'm going to put some of the patio slabs that I've still got in place, and then I'm going to then put another layer of stones over so that patio slabs are still showing, but that all of the gaps between the patio slabs are filled in with stone. So there it is then. I've popped just 3 slabs in place. Again, you could put more or less, or to be honest, aesthetically it looks better without the slabs at all. But for me, because I'm in and out of here rolling kit up and down the shed quite frequently, I want the slabs in place so I don't end up dragging all the stones in to the shed and then all the way out into the path as well. So the slabs will help prevent that. So the only job left to do now, which I'll do another time when it's a bit sunnier, is painting these supporting planks, keeping the gravel in place. I'm going to paint them the same colour as the shed. So if you found the video useful, please like, comment, share and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.